to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast, and with the Scottish Gypsy King himself, Lee McALLISTER. Lee, how's things, brother? All good?
All good here, mate. How are you, the family?
Good,
Enjoy
mate.
your holiday?
Oh, mate, it was fantastic, man. That land of legends in Turkey is, man, take your kids there. They'll have a blast, man. There's no time for them to get bored.
I'd need to get my own jet to get them all there. I can afford that. You mad?
I thought you're a rich professional boxer, no?
It's allegedly my arse. I'm a broke old fat man.
Likewise, mate. Likewise. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it, man. Obviously, you've been in the game long enough, and you're a boxing fan as well as a fighter. So, this past week, there's no doubt you've heard the news about Conor Benn failing his A sample. It was an adverse result in his VADA drug test. When you heard the news on, I believe it was Wednesday, what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was absolutely gutted, mate, because I've got a lot of time for Conor Benn. I was a big fan of his dad, a big fan of Chris Eubank Jr. as well back in the day. To be fair, I've never actually been one of, although Chris Eubank Jr., he's done his thing, he's boxed like Sir Joe Saunders, he's boxed like Groves, he's done his time, he's done his apprenticeship, and I actually expected at this point, the way the fight was going, I thought that Ben was a bit green for him. I expected Ben to have another 5, 6, 10 fights at top level before the clash. I thought it was a bit early for Conor, to be fair, but he was confident. His camp was confident. It was a brilliant fight. I was looking forward to it, but like I say, absolutely devastating to see the fight being pulled for that. And it's not very often I would say this, but actually, I feel sorry for Eddie Hearn. Believe it or not.
Well, that's probably a first. I don't think we hear many people saying that. And why is that then? Why do you feel sorry for Eddie?
I feel sorry for Eddie Hearn on this instance. Like I said, Eddie Hearn's brilliant for the sport. He puts on magic. His shows are brilliant. The things he tries to do with the fighters, he backs them all quite a lot. Like I said, he doesn't get a lot of the respect he's due a lot of the times. Probably because he's about a cocky bastard. But aren't we all? You've got to be a bit cocky now and then. But for me, being told the week of the fight it couldn't go ahead, then he had a gun held at his head, basically, that the fight wasn't going ahead a couple of days before the show. After all that money that himself, Matchroom and DAZN have pumped into the publicity, the pre-match of the workouts, all the money, they've lost millions, and I mean must be millions for them. They've lost out on, how can I put it? The board, basically, if they knew, and everyone knew, the Eubanks knew, the Benns knew, and the board all knew on the 23rd of September what was out that they knew. And allegedly, the Eubanks were the last to know. So obviously, the board had known before that. So if that's the case, and a drug failure and a positive test, automatically that fighter should be withdrawn from the show. Simple as, no way, shape, or form. I'm told against any drug use in any sport. So it might be a simple thing for it. Over the years, there's been a lot of things with pre-workouts, nasal sprays, whatever it may be, are certain things in a lot of this new products coming through that aren't maybe tested correctly and put onto the UK, obviously, licensing and the WADA, whatever it is, onto their things. And the guys aren't noticing it, not picking up on it, and they're failing for it. That's just fair enough. If he deliberately went out and banged steroids on himself to try and cause harm and possibly kill somebody, take someone's life, that's a different story. Personally, I do not think that Conor Benn would have intentionally took steroids. And that's just my opinion. He's a young, fit, strong guy. I do not see why he would need to do that. And even moving up weight, I don't see why he would need to do that if he walks about that way anyway. But for me, the key is, like I say, I feel sorry for Eddie Hearn, is the fact that he could have been told a week and a half before when he was told, and he wasn't told that the fight was off. There's been no suspension. There's been nothing. So technically, for me now, there's a court case for Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and DAZN against the British Boxing Board of Control for negligence. Is it?
Negligence. Negligence.
Why not? If this was in America, they'd be suing him left, right, and centre. And the fact it's cost that much money, and I feel sorry for other people on the undercard. The undercard show was a brilliant show in itself, and they got pulled as well. They've not just got all that, they've got all the money they've taken off of time for work, all the money they put in supplements, all their camps, all these things.
Aaron.
It's an amazing amount of money. If you accumulate all, it's in the millions. And for me, I think they pulled a fast one, and I don't think it was very fair. Any of the fighters, or the promoter, or the TV channel, or Matchroom. I just think it was disgustingly handled, mate. And that's just my opinion.
What do you make of it being is it chlorophene or something? I believe it was called. It's a female. I've been trying to read up on it. I've seen a couple of videos. Been trying to read up on it. It's a female fertility drug, which it sort of like after the saying. I know Chael Sonnen done it in the UFC. Basically, if you take steroids, it sort of wakes your testicles back up. It keeps your testosterone levels high. Or something along. I'm butchering this, but I read up on it a little bit last night. So basically, it masks the high testosterone levels, bring your testosterone levels back to normal. That's what I believe, and that's what I've read in a couple of articles and stuff like that. So, again, what do you make of that drug he took?
Well, like I say, whether he took it knowingly or not, I'm not getting into that. It's up to them. Only the camp will know, and they seem to be keen to make sure that they are in a position where they're proven that they're clean athletes, which is great. Obviously, on the other side, if they deliberately done it, then it's just embarrassing for them. It's embarrassing for the family name. It's embarrassing for the sport. But for me, I don't know much about that, and I don't know much about what the drugs are. I know what the testosterone is. And a young lad like Conor Benn should be hitting 50 hard-ons a day without any drugs. So that's the way I look at it. He's a young, fit, strong guy. Why would he need to put his testosterone levels up any more than what they already are? I just don't get it. Different as an old man, I need a Viagra now and then. But like I say, they use it for strength. They use it for whatever other gains they can get out of it. But for me, the whole story, I'm just not convinced in the whole story. I don't know, mate. Honestly, it's a hard one. I'm sitting on the fence, quite thingy. Hello?
Yeah, I can still see you. Sorry.
Like I say, I'm sitting on the fence a bit with it. I don't want to go too hard pelt on Ben because everyone else is at this moment, and there's no good kicking him on when he's down. One thing I will say on Eubank's favour is he showed a big set of balls himself and a lot of maturity the way he's handled it. I thought he'd been crying, spitting his dummy out the pram and being a wanker basically, but no, he's not. He's held his head up high and he's took it on the chin, and he's proved to me and probably everyone else that he's a mature fighter, a mature person, and he's there to fight.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so you've got to take a hat off him.
Yeah, definitely. I think I done an interview with Alex Arthur, and he basically said the same thing about Chris Eubank Jr. But Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and everybody involved in Callis Ireland, they came out and said that it's a postponement of this fight. This fight will still go ahead at a later date, but obviously we need to clear up because right now I don't think all of the facts, and there's obviously the court case like you mentioned. I believe that's what's happening. So there's still a lot to come out.
So is there a court case going ahead already?
I honestly don't know, but I'm hearing that there might be. I think there was a court case with the board or something along them lines. But I'm guessing we won't hear much more about it until maybe 2-3 weeks down the line. But again, it's a postponement of this fight, so I imagine it's still going ahead at some point.
For me, it's an exciting fight. It's always been an exciting fight. It's who's going to do things right on the night, basically. And I'd love to help Ben in a training camp to help him go for it, to be honest with you, because I always want Ben to win. But then again, go to see him, I doubt it'd be two-faced. If he's using steroids and all the rest, I wouldn't want to be involved in that shit anyway. So, but yeah, it's Ben has shown over the last couple of years he can fight. To start with, I wasn't convinced with him, but he's came up leaps and bounds in maturity in the ring, and he's been doing very, very well. So, like I said, it's an interesting fight, and once it gets to reschedulement, it'll be interesting to watch, and hopefully I'll be excited to watch it as well.
Lee, where do you stand on people being pinged for steroids? Are you 1 year ban, 2 year ban, lifetime ban? Where do you stand on it all? Well,
years ago, I was a couple of people got banned, right, for smoking weed, right, which is a banned substance, but it's an enhancement. It's just them being stupid and hit a joint or whatever they've had. That's not hurting nobody, only themselves, right? But you've got people sticking proper enhancements in themselves, and they are deliberately going out their way to cause more pain on their opponent and possibly kill them. That's a no-go for me, mate. People with that mindset should never be allowed to be set back in a ring again, because obviously they don't believe in themselves enough to do it naturally. So if they can't do it naturally, they shouldn't be doing it at all. That's my take on it.
I mean, that's the thing with Ben as well, as a young fighter, a young up-and-coming fighter. I mean, I am a massive fan of Conor Benn, and I mean, like I've had the privilege to spend a lot of time with him, and he's always been nice and genuine to me. So it's almost like it's hard. It's a hard one, because when you know somebody and you know what they put into the game and stuff like that, it's hard for them for you to take that livelihood away from them. But again, it's when you're not playing like that old saying, it's not chess. It's the hurt business, isn't it? It's you're going in there to hurt another man.
It's a game you can legally get killed in, mate. And if you're playing about with that shit, you're playing with people's lives. So, and Nigel Benn knows firsthand, and so does Chris Eubank, how it ends up with Gerald McLennan and Michael Watson from both sides. So, if it was known to them, hopefully they would be in the same position. Well, if you're doing that, mate, you've got no chance. I think so. All you're doing is destroy people's families. And it's not the boxer. Most boxers don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, 90% of them all got fathers, and they've all got mothers, grandmothers, they've all got wives, kids, all these things that get left behind, or they're wheelchair bound and struggling for the rest of their life.
I mean, like I say, I mean, it's one of them subjects that we can talk about for hours and hours and days and days. And again, there's not much clarity on like where people stand in terms of bans. Do you know what I mean? You look at Jarrell Miller, who got popped twice in a row with EPO, proper stuff back in 2018, and he's back fighting again. Now he's had 2 fights in 2022. So, I mean, there's so many different commissions and so many different agencies that will let you fight.
You look at it's crazy because you look at like the Canelo and the meat situation. You've got so many fighters over the years who have tested positive for drugs. They got a 6-month ban, a year ban, and they're back fighting, or there's a legitimate reason for it, and they can trace back and say, look, well, this is what I've done, this is what I've not done, and I can only apologise. It was unintentional. So let's say it's a very, very grey shaded area. There's no black or white in this business. And I'm not a professor. I'm not clever enough to know too much about it. All I know is fuck sticking that shit in your body and potentially killing someone. Yeah,
definitely. But like I said, it's a tough situation for everyone involved with the Eubanks and the Benns, and obviously Eddie Hearn you mentioned there. But hopefully we can get some more and more facts come out in the coming weeks. And like I say, there was a fight. It was meant to be tonight. The fight was meant to be on tonight. So I just said that to my wife there. Like, I was actually looking forward to this fight. I was actually buzzing for it. But I was really just going to glass of red wine and just.
For myself, I'm going out for a birthday meal soon, and then I'm supposed to be going. I've booked it on in one of the local pubs to go and watch it. But obviously now we won't be watching it. But I stick to what I said. And there's not a lot of people will probably come on and say, "Oh, Lee, what does he know? He don't know. He knows shit about boxing and all the rest of it." But I've been the game. It's my 20th year as a professional fighter, and in a week and a half's time, I'll be my 20th year since my professional debut, and obviously I won 90 professional titles over the years. But for me, and that's why I stand by and say I feel sorry for the promoters this time, because I know with promoting shows myself, in the smaller shows, it's like a 500 quid, 1,000 quid could be whether you cover yourself or you're losing money. Try to get the small shows up and running. But like this is millions of pounds. I thought they've got sponsorships. I thought they've got the TV back in. It's hitting everything like a domino effect, and it will cause massive problems in the long term. And I can see why, because they've delayed the inevitable and they have caused a big fuck up for the show.
Like obviously I'm a journalist that asks questions, but I do honestly feel sorry for both Benns and the Eubanks. I mean, it's a tough situation for both families here. But for you, I mean, you put out a post, touching on you for a little bit here. You put out a post a wee while ago. You're ranked number 15 in the world in WBO?
Number 14. Just now. 14.
Yeah. There you go. Well, you never know. You could be an opponent for one of the big jobs.
Listen, buddy. I'm never an opponent. I'm always the top boy in there. Always bring my A game.
I like it. So what is next for you then in terms of fighting, or you got a date, or what's going on?
I've got a few things in process. I'm just working on just now. Obviously, I'm busy out with as well. I've got a million things to do. Hence the reason I've got a fat head just now. I've never put the full training in, but I'm getting back to training next week, full time again, and will be some announcements soon.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it. I know that you want me.
You never know. They might want me to step on the undercard. Ben and Eubank to fight the winner. You never know.
Would you fight the winner?
Of course, why not? There's a bear shit in the woods.
Well, that's a dumb question. It's a dumb question. Okay, let's just put it. If the fight was going ahead tonight, who was winning it?
For me, on the thing, I would have had Eubank late stoppage, to be fair, because I just think that Ben's too green and he doesn't seem to know how to control himself over the longer rounds yet, longer distances, because he's never experienced it at top level. Although I was backing Ben and I wanted Ben to win, but my head was saying Eubank, my heart was saying Ben, and that's the problem you've got. Like I said, I think that unless you got the right camp, the right people adjusting certain things the way he's boxing against Eubank, he needs another 4 or 5 fights before he's beat Eubank at a top level.
Yeah, it was going to be an exciting fight, especially with that Ben Eubank name. I mean, guys our age remember their dads.
I said the same when Eubank fought Billy Joe Saunders, and I said the same when he fought George Groves. I said he needs another 3-4 fights at a decent level. Another 3-4 fights at a decent level. And end of the day, that's experience. Okay, you got beat by them, but guys get beat guys that class isn't it fucking a big deal? Billy Joe Saunders, George Groves, ultimate class boxers, but it's how you come back. I always say to fighters, it's not that the L's not a loss, it's a learning. If you use it as learning, and then you can come back for it. If you use it a loss, I'll eat a what yet, you'll never come back.
Well, listen, Lee, I know you've got to go out for a birthday meal, and I always appreciate your time, and thanks for doing this for FLTV. I know you've got a couple of fighters up in Aberdeen that you want me to have a chat with, so to help them promote them. So definitely we'll wait and see, and we'll get maybe tail end the next week. We'll get a couple of chats with a couple of your fighters and that, and we'll take it from there. But listen, get that fight date. We'll chat, mate.
Spot on, enjoy it. Thank you.
Cheers, Lee. Thanks, brother.
Take care, pal. Bye,
mate.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.